Okay, so hello. Haven't seen me in a while, have you? Uh, I've been really busy with my internship and just life. I can film after work, but I can only film in my room, and that just doesn't look that great, as you've seen in my previous video. So I'm just giving you a quick update, hopefully quick, about what I'm currently reading, and maybe just a little bit of what I'm going to read for the rest of June, because it's already 22nd of June, so there's not much time left. I have only finished one book in June. I'm actually in a reading slump, and I have been since like second half of June. And the first half of July, I feel like I'm slowly crawling out of this reading slump, but yeah, I've only finished one book so far, and that's Small Great Things by Jodi. I will talk about this in my wrap-up, but I can tell you I've given this 3 stars, so this was mediocre but better than I expected. So now what I'm currently reading, this is very embarrassing. So now what I'm currently reading, this is very embarrassing because this book actually appeared in my first video that I posted on YouTube ever, and that's kind of currently reading and my TBR. And I remember I said it would be great if I started this book in May, and I did, but I wasn't expecting to finish it in May, and I certainly didn't. And that's The Luminaries by Eleanor Catton. I have started this in May, but I only read like 3 or 4 pages, and I was like, this is great. This will be my next favorite book, and I was so excited. And I kind of stopped reading. I don't know why, because I had such high expectations. I was afraid they were not going to be met. And then I went on vacation, so I obviously didn't bring that with me. And yeah, I kind of read the first like 4 pages and then didn't read it for almost a month. I'm like over halfway through this book. I was going to finish it this weekend, but I'm not sure how that's gonna work out. I'm enjoying it. I was definitely expecting a lot more when I first started this book. Okay, let me maybe tell you what this book is about. It's basically about gold fever in New Zealand in the 60s of 19th century. We have, in the first chapter, we have Moody, who visits this town in New Zealand that's famous for, you know, gold, what is it called, like mining? Whatever. And he, after his journey on a boat, he decides to stay in this hotel, and to kind of relax, he goes to this room where he meets 12 other people. They all look different, they all look from different classes, and he kind of thinks this is a very weird place for such a like variety of different people to meet, and he feels like this is a little bit suspicious. A little bit further along in the story, we find out that this is kind of a meeting they arranged because some weird things were happening in this town. So kind of 3 things happened, I think in the same day, I'm not sure. So a prostitute was found like almost dead, and people were thinking she was trying to kill herself. A very wealthy man disappeared, and quite a poor man died, and in his house people found a lot of gold, but it was weird because he was poor. So those 3 things kind of happened at the same time, and they are all very odd, and those people just met there to kind of figure out what happened, and they're all kind of connected to this story. There's also a lot of astrology in this book, which I don't really get. There's a lot of characters in this book. It kind of feels... I haven't really read that much of Dickens, really, but it does kind of feel like a Dickens novel in a way. It's, you know, a lot of characters. The way it's written also kind of reminds me of like Victorian literature, but like not Victorian, like just very much Dickens-like. I don't know, I'm still enjoying it, but it's kind of dragging. I mean, it's over, Polish translation is over 900 pages long, and I feel like it doesn't really need to be that long. We kind of see kind of the events unfolding through the eyes of each member of this meeting. So we see kind of perspective of 12 people. So it's a lot, but there was I don't want to make this a review, but there were times where I thought some things could have been edited out. I'll get into like the specifics during my wrap-up, but yeah, so far it's you know, it's impressive, but it's not as enjoyable as I would like it to be. Second thing I'm reading, I'm actually buddy reading with Murphy from... I'll link her channel down below. She does classics buddy reads every month, and I actually suggested reading this book a few months ago, and she said sure, and now I'm kind of regretting it, but yeah. The book is Invitation to a Beheading by Vladimir Nabokov, and this... I'm not sure what to say. This, if you read The Trial by Kafka, the first half especially, or like the first like third of the book, felt extremely like The Trial, and I personally really love The Trial, and because it was so similar, it really kind of put me off. I don't know, not much is happening. You have a man who was sentenced to death for a crime, we don't know what crime, and there's really not much of a plot. It's very... the whole book feels kind of dreamlike, and the way things are happening, it kind of feels like a play, and it's very absurd and just really weird. Well, I mean, Kafka's The Trial was also all of that, but I don't know. I mean, I have to say, when I got to like the halfway point, I kind of started seeing that it's shifting and it's not as similar as I thought, but yeah. It's weird, I don't really know where it's going, but I'm not loving it. Okay, so let's get to my like TBR for the rest of July, even though we have like a little bit over a week left. But I would really like to start reading Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix. Obviously, I will not finish it in July. I feel like I kept mixing those months in this video, June and July. But yeah, I've been really dying to start this book, and I just don't want to start it before I am finished with the Luminaries, because it's just such a huge book, and it's also like, I think it's also like 900, no wait, it's 800 pages long, so I don't want to start another huge book before I'm finished with the first one. Another book that I would like to start in July is Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit by Jeanette Winterson. This is a pick for a book club, the Feminist Orchestra book club. I will link the information down in the description. This is a pick for like July and August, because like, you have only one book to read for 2 months, so you have a lot of time to kind of get to it. It is quite short. I just really want to read something short. Another thing I would like to actually read in July is Lady Susan by Jane Austen. It is Jane Austen July, hosted by also someone whose channel name I just don't remember. I will also link it in the description. I've read all of Jane Austen's novels and her juvenilia, but I actually haven't read any of those three, so Lady Susan, The Watson, and Sedition says... I don't know how to pronounce that actually. So I believe Lady Susan is the only... what is it, a short story? Lady Susan is actually a finished story, but the Watsons and the other one are unfinished. So yeah, I would like to read Lady Susan in July. And that's everything. I really hope I will slowly get out of this reading slump, and I'm really sorry that I haven't been posting, but yeah, just things have been against me. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye!